this be, how do you always get free V-Bucks? That's my other PlayStation 4, this is my other PlayStation 4, and then this is my other PlayStation 4. All 3 new accounts, all level 1. That's 13,000 V-Bucks. And also, I'll be showing you an exclusive account in today's video. Now, I want to make this very clear before I tell you guys how this was performed, how I got this all for free. This isn't going to be any of those bullshit stuff where you go ahead and say, hey, go to this website. None of that. So, I want to tell you guys this quickly right now. My last video. And because of that, I'm giving away a free $20 Steam gift card code in today's video. So, somewhere in today's video, it's randomly going to pop up. First person that gets it, gets it. So GG, good luck to you. And a lot of people have been asking me, will this, whatever I did in today's video, many of you will call this a V-Bucks glitch, which I have uploaded many videos here on my YouTube channel. And yeah, it can be and it cannot be. I can tell you this is going to be very Now just a quick disclaimer, this is 100% allowed. This has no exploit or cheating, anything like that. And this is allowed to be seeing all my accounts right now.
That nigga one-shotted me?
And I got the V-Bucks on it. I didn't buy anything. I got this all for free. And everyone always tells me, listen, every single time you want V-Bucks, you get V-Bucks. And I get this for 100% for free. You can do it on the PlayStation. You can do it on the Xbox One. You can do it on the PC. You can do it on whatever console Fortnite is on. And it's 100% for free. Now I want to tell you everything that you'll need to know. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to give a shout out to everyone coming up on the screen right now. Shout out goes to each and every single one of you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for being part of the notification gang. It really does mean a lot. If you want to shout out, all you got to do right this second is drop a like. Turn on all your notifications to never miss on another thing on how to make free V-Bucks on Fortnite. You already know that this is the #1 YouTube channel for Fortnite. Fortnite V-Bucks glitches, everything like that. We are like the creators of that stuff. Now, I want to be honest with you right now. One of these accounts, I'm going to give it away to someone who is lucky, who is on screen. And if you didn't know, I want to get this very my one account. I mean, it has this here on YouTube. No one has it except me. And I want to tell everyone right this second. You want it? I want you to tell me this right now. Comment in the comment section if you want it. And I'm going to go ahead and release this video. This video is automatically going to be posted on my YouTube channel. Once this video you're watching right now hits 30,000 likes, this video we're talking it right now, once this video hits 30,000 likes, that video will be uploaded on my YouTube channel. On how I got 114,000 V-Bucks. On how all those other accounts I got 13,000 V-Bucks. That's once this video hits 30,000 likes. Hey. So hard. We're going to see if this YouTuber is real or is fake or is he telling the truth or anything like that. Because, you know, tell me honestly, here on this channel, we do upload every single working glitch. Obviously, we do GTA 5 glitches and we are actually testing out a Fortnite glitch for the first time just to see if these glitches are real because no one's doing it in the Fortnite community. This YouTube channel automatically, it's just going to be posted right away. It doesn't want to make basically an entire life saving. That's over, I believe, that's more than $1,000. We got that for absolutely free. And I want to tell everyone this. That's the woman. Okay, we love her. Concealer! Woo! No, this one over here. Ooh. Aren't you guys sick and tired of going on YouTube and free and get V-Bucks for free? And you just see all the so literally 45 minutes later and go. So goes to my man, now me, this guy comes up with a new glitch and he goes ahead and does this, take a screenshot and then, and get ready. Now I'm going to bring a serious topic here on today's channel and tell you, and you just see all these bullshit videos that are just talking about fake stuff, hey, but I want to tell you guys, if you guys have, and it's very simple, towards me. mean, to the money glitch is here on the bugs glitch, and somewhere in today's video, you will get that. All you gotta do is simply go ahead and comment down below, say or something like that, and then I lost my PlayStation account, and I want to quickly tell you guys this, and the reason why I lost my PlayStation account, I want you guys to stay secure as well. I gave away a free modded account for a game called Yankee 35. Now, why did I do that? Well, because GTA, I had modded accounts, I gave it away, and it turns out I didn't remember or didn't know that the modded account I gave away had the same password as my actual account, which was the PlayStation account that's been complete. So what the guy did was my PlayStation account, changed my password, emailed everything, and that's how I lost my account. And he started spending all my V-Bucks, but I did have a lot of V-Bucks because he did play the game. How do I know? My screens were jumping up and jumping down, and my GTA account was going crazy as well. And the guy looked like he was trying to sell my account, but that's alright. I did get my account back. We're going to go ahead and leave that out of the way now because I'm
Bless you.
that I got my account back, and I want you guys to listen like I don't want this ever to happen.
Wow.
Go onto your account and make sure it's safe. Make sure it's strong password. You don't want anyone ever getting
I hate that slow ass shooting SMG.
I want you guys to remember this. Never use the same password for anything, so you guys can stay safe. Always have.
Drag queens, honestly, were definitely a huge inspiration for me when it came to building cartoons. And I was much my nose to really look. So.
Hey, what's up guys, my name is Gamertag, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing. I want to be notified whenever I come out with more content like this, and feel free to subscribe. Fortnite Battle Royale itself is actually free. That does not mean everything in the game itself is. For add-ons, which include skins, emotes, etc., are going to cost you a little bit of money. Now they can range anywhere from like 200 V-Bucks to a couple thousand V-Bucks. So a decent or legendary skin is actually going to cost you anywhere from like 1,600 to 2,000 V-Bucks, which is like $20 to $30 in real life money. So again, although the game itself is free, add-ons like this that a lot of people have and a lot of people want are going to cost you a little bit of money. So of course, V-Bucks are really sought after in the game. So instead of spending like $60 or $80 for a few skins in the game, I thought this video is going to help you guys to get actually V-Bucks in the game. This way you don't have to spend money every single time that you want to go ahead and buy either an emote or a skin for the game itself. Now all of these ways are actually very easy in my opinion. One of them is fairly obvious, however it's still important and still a great way to actually get V-Bucks in the game. So that means let's go ahead and get right into the 3 ways you guys can get free V-Bucks in the game. Now I think it all this is the obvious one, however I still think it's helpful. Most of you guys do know this one, so if this is something you already know or don't really want to hear about, then feel free to skip to the next 2 methods, which are ones that not really anyone does. However, I think this is still helpful and a great way to get free V-Bucks in Fortnite Battle Royale. So this is by using the Battle Pass or Season Pass for Season 3. Essentially what this is by playing and completing challenges in the game where if you're just ranking up through your levels, you actually earn experience and sometimes you earn stars. And for Season 3, there's 100 ranks. Every rank is about 10 stars. Once you reach 10 stars, you move on to the next rank, which unlocks you something that you have yet to unlock. Sometimes it might be skins, sometimes it might be a loading screen, and then sometimes it's going to be V-Bucks as well as experience. Now the V-Bucks aren't like insane amounts, it's not like it's giving you thousands and thousands of V-Bucks, unfortunately. When you do rank up, there's going to be several times where it actually gives you about 100 to 150 V-Bucks. Now although 100 V-Bucks is not a ton of V-Bucks, it still does add up once you do rank up all the way through Season 3. Again, there's 100 ranks. Now I'm not entirely sure of the exact number of V-Bucks that you can make through the entire season. However, this season is coming to an end, so your best bet is to grind this as much as you can for the next few days. Make as many V-Bucks as you can, and then Season 4 is going to come out, which is then again going to allow you guys to make even more V-Bucks. So it's probably going to give you a decent amount of V-Bucks once you complete Season 3, and then again for Season 4 it's going to give you a lot of V-Bucks as well. So if you do save both seasons up, you guys should be sitting fairly pretty for V-Bucks. And again, this one's pretty obvious, however I still think it should be said and noted in the video, because it is a pretty easy and efficient way to be making free V-Bucks in Fortnite Battle Royale. And since Season 3 is coming to an end very closely, I feel like it would be helpful for me to share with you guys the best ways you can actually rank up through the tiers very fast, of course making you the most amount of V-Bucks in a short amount of time. So basically the way to do this is actually go onto the Battle Royale screen, do a challenge in one game, leave the game, do
do another challenge the next game, and then just do that over and over again. And personally, I think that you can expect, if you're doing this method, to probably rank up maybe like 40 tiers if you do grind, maybe even 50 tiers, but it's going to give you guys a lot of V-Bucks in a short amount of time. Now moving on to the second method, this is actually through Save the World. Save the World. And if you think about it mathematically, this is giving you a lot more V-Bucks than if you were to go out and buy them. For instance, if you get $20, give you around $1,000 V-Bucks, which is like 1 much just spend $20, it's not a good investment realistically. So if you do purchase Save the World for $20 and you play if you buy Save the World for $20, the limit for V-Bucks is not even existent. You can make tens of thousands of V-Bucks simply by playing Save the World, which 10,000 V-Bucks is $100. So instead of spending $100, you're spending $20 on Save the World and making thousands and thousands and thousands of V-Bucks in return. Now, this method is actually one that does not even require you to play Save the World whatsoever, which I think you should because I've been playing it. It's actually a lot of fun. However, when you do purchase Save the World, all you want to do is just log in every day. You simply just click on Save the World, log into it, and then it's going to give you a daily reward. So every single daily reward is going to be a little bit different. So for the first day, you know, it might be 100 V-Bucks, and the next day it might actually be experience and things like that. But actually, that's progressed to better things. So once you log in every single day for a few months, which isn't going to take really any effort at all, then you actually start to see that you're making decent V-Bucks. You get like 150 for the first couple of months when you log in every single day. You keep going and logging in more and more and more, and after about 3 to 4 months, there's going to be days where you're making a lot of V-Bucks simply by logging in, like 800 V-Bucks. Obviously, this is a little bit in the future, but starting now is going to be your best bet. Obviously, start now opposed to later. So again, in a few months' time, there's going to be days where you're making like 500 to 800 V-Bucks simply by logging in to Save the World, and you're not even playing Save the World itself. Which again, I recommend you should do because it actually is very addicting, a lot like Battle Royale. So that's the second method. This one is like effortless, and I recommend you guys do this because in return, this is probably the best investment and best purchase you can make for Fortnite, in my opinion. Opposed to buying V-Bucks in the store, you buy Save the World for a lot less and make a ton more V-Bucks. Now moving on to the number one method is easily the best method. This is how you guys will be making thousands and thousands of V-Bucks. And again, this one pertains to Save the World. So instead of going and buying, you know, $20 worth of V-Bucks, which you might have done that, just like Save the World, it's a lot of fun. Really make V-Bucks by putting no effort towards it. And this method is a little bit different than the previous one. Instead of signing in, it's actually playing it. And as I mentioned, it's a pretty addictive game. It's a lot of fun. So it's not like it's tedious. It's not like it's any really hard work whatsoever. It's a lot of fun. You can even play with your friends as well. By doing this method, this is my main source of V-Bucks. And I'm not spending a lot of V-Bucks whatsoever. I have a lot saved up just because I don't like any of the new skins they've been releasing. And what this is you're just playing the game itself. So once you play Save the World, it's going to take you through a tutorial, which is just a few minutes. You start to get the hang of things, and just by playing through the game, you actually earn V-Bucks. So every time you do a mission, you're going to earn a chest at the end. Now those chests are ranged from like level 1 through level 4. Of course, level 4 chests are going to be the ones that give you, you know, the most V-Bucks, and then what.
I'm actually going to push on the
right. Okay. No. Crouch play. No, crouch, that's a jump. Crouch play. That's a crouch, that's one. Okay, thank you. Oh! Yeah! Where did that come from? I don't know, it's just like some glitch. Like if you stand at the door and you just crouch twice, it just falls up the steps. Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, yeah. It only happens once per game. Oh, I was trying to keep. Oh, is that cheap? Fire hydrant? Oh! What? Alright, see that bush right there? Yeah. Alright, go in the bush, crouch twice. Alright, now come follow me. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me see. Alright. You did it 3 times, twice. Yeah, go out, now go back in. Now, crouch twice. Alright, now let me get it. I have to do it too. Alright, follow me.
Oh my god, I am really loving this. I feel like I just ripped a prayer's face right off her and just popped it right on mine.
Yeah, so you have to go into the bush and then Oh. Like, from there.
For holidays now, we have different kind of babies. It's hard, tough, young, pigment. I don't know how that right on it.
I didn't even put that much.
Oh, yeah. There she is, girl. But of course, sister, scratch, scratch. Alright, sisters, so we are all done. The last step of the day is going to be to lock their station screen. We are performance and station 11. I'm going to use Indonesia makeup medicine spray. This one is off a pretty heavy spray. Alright, so that is the makeup all complete, but we still have a little bit more of a transformation to do. So, I'm going to go throw on some jewelry, wig, and a different outfit, and I'll be right back to show you guys in a minute. Hi, sister. Alright, you guys. On what's for today, I do on raw and I was with this one before was like a feel so confident. I think this is my raw and I'm so excited for this video. Like number one origination of all time. It is just so amazing that the art of drawing has me so much. They're amazing.
How he shoot me? How he shooting me?
Get out of there.
Why?
Get out of there, you're gonna shoot you down, you're gonna die.
Not from this height.
Yeah.
That nigga! He's such a hacker! Damn!
But you have to go across like the hill, right? Yeah, hey man.
Okay. So, you know Widow? He says call Tim Fat.
I don't know that person, but don't listen to them, they're mean.
Oh, okay. Say to
I don't know that person, but don't listen to them, they're mean.
Oh, okay. Say to Tim, wow, looks like you gained some weight, fatty. But whatever, let's just...
I salute you. Thank all of y'all.
getting jumped. Damn.
Audio presents Five Nights at Freddy's, Book 2, The Twisted Ones.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Five Nights at Freddy's. Yes, that is correct, guys. We're back on the original Five Nights at Freddy's game, and you guys,
Introducing Valvoline Full Synthetic and the new Easy Core Bottle. Faster, clean.
Audio presents Five Nights at Freddy's, Book 2, The Twisted Ones, by Scott Coffin and Kira Breed Risley, read by Suzanne Elise Freeman. across the platform at the front of the auditorium. Her steps were slow and even, almost hypnotic. Your eyes deceive you every day, filling in the blanks for you in a world of sensory overload. An image of dizzying geometric detail lit up the canvas screen behind her. When I say sensory overload, I mean that...
What's up, guys? Scott Coffin has gave me permission to read the Twisted Ones for you guys. So, what I'm going to be doing is doing both the Silver Eyes and the Twisted Ones each week. And yeah, whatever you guys prefer, you can either listen to the Twisted Ones or the Silver Eyes or both if you want to. It's totally up to you. So hopefully you guys enjoy the Twisted Ones. Five Nights at Freddy's, The Twisted Ones, by Scott Coffin and Cara Breed Risley. Don't trust your eyes. Dr. Treadwell walked back and forth across the platform at the front of the auditorium. The steps were slow and even, almost hypnotic. Your eyes deceive you every day, filling in the blanks for you in a world of sensory overload. An image of dizzying geometric detail behind her. When I say sensory overload, I mean that quite literally. At every moment your senses are receiving far more information than they can process all at once, and your mind is forced to choose which signals to pay attention to. It does that based on your experiences and your expectation of what is normal. The things we are familiar with are the things we can, for the most part, ignore. We see this most easily with olfactory fatigue. Your nose ceases to perceive a smell when you've been around it for a while. You may be quite thankful for this phenomenon, depending on the habits of your roommate. The class tittered dutifully, then became quiet as the image of another multicoloured design flashed onto the screen. The professor gave a hint of a smile and continued. Your mind creates motion when there is none. It fills in colours and trajectories based on what you've seen before and calculates what you should be seeing now. Another image flashed on the overhead screen. If your mind didn't do this, then simply walking outside and seeing a tree would consume all your mental energy, leaving no resources to do anything else. In order for you to function in the world, your mind fills in the spaces of that tree with its own leaves and branches. 100 pencils scribbled all at once, filling the lecture hall with a sound like scurrying mice. It's why when you enter a house for the first time, you experience a motion of dizziness. Your mind is taking in more than usual. It's drawing a floor plan, creating a palette of colours, and saving an inventory of images to draw on later, so you don't have to go through that exhausting intake every single time. The next time you enter that same house, you'll already know where you are. Charlie! An urgent voice whispered her name, inches from her ear. Charlie kept writing. She was staring straight ahead at the display at the front of the lecture hall. As Dr. Treadwell went on, she paced faster, occasionally flinging an arm toward the screen to illustrate her point. Her words seemed to be falling behind as her mind raced ahead. Charlie had realised by the second day of classes that her professor sometimes broke off in the middle of one sentence, only to finish an entirely different one. It was like she skimmed the text in her head, reading out a few words here and there. Most of the students in her robotics class found it maddening, but Charlie liked it. It made the lesson kind of like doing a puzzle. The screen flashed again, displaying an assortment of mechanical parts and a diagram of an eye. This is what you must recreate. Dr. Treadwell stepped back from the image, turning to look at it with the class. Basic artificial intelligence is all about sensory control. You won't be dealing with a mind that can filter these things out for itself. You must design programs that recognise basic shapes while discarding unimportant information. You must do for your robot what your own mind does for you. Create a simplified and organised assembly of information based on what's relevant. Let's start by looking at some examples of basic shape recognition. Charlie! Hissed the voice again, and she waved her pencil impatiently at the figure peering over her shoulder, her friend Artie, trying to shoo him away. The gesture cost her a moment, put her half a step back behind the professor. She had hurried to catch up, anxious not to miss a single line. The paper in front of her was covered in formulas,
notes in the margins, sketches and diagrams. She wanted to get everything down all at once, not just the math, but all the things it made her to think of. If she could tie the new facts to things she already knew, she'd retain it much more easily. She felt hungry for it, alert, watching for new bits of information like a dog under the dinner table. A boy near the front raised his hand to ask a question, and Charlie felt a brief flare of impatience. Now the whole class would have to stop while Treadwell went back to explain a simple concept. Charlie let her mind wander, sketching absently in the margins of her notebook. John would be hearing. She glanced restlessly at her watch. An hour. I told him maybe someday we'll see each other again. I guess it's someday. He had called out of the blue. I'm just going to be passing through, he said, and Charlie hadn't bothered to ask how he knew where she was. Of course he would know. There was no reason not to meet him, and she found herself alternately excited and filled with dread. Now, as she absently sketched rectangular forms along the bottom of her notepaper, her stomach jumped, a little spasm of nerves. It was like a lifetime since she last saw him. Sometimes it felt like she'd seen him yesterday, as if the last year hadn't passed. But of course it had, and everything had changed for Charlie once again. That May, the night before her 18th birthday, the dreams had begun. Charlie was long accustomed to nightmares. The worst moments of her past forced up like bile into twisted versions of memories already too terrible to recall. She shoved these dreams into the back of her mind in the morning and sealed them away, knowing they would only breach it when the night fell again. These dreams were different. When she woke, she was physically exhausted, not just drained, but sore, her muscles weak. Her hands were stiff and aching, like they'd been forced into needles for hours. These new dreams didn't come every night, but when they did, they interrupted her regular nightmares and took them over. It didn't matter if she was running and screaming for her life, or wandering aimlessly through the dull mishmash of various places she'd been all week. Suddenly, from nowhere, she would sense him. Sammy, her lost twin brother, was near. She knew he was present the same way she knew that she was present, and whatever the dream was, it dropped away. People, places, light, and sound. Now she was searching for him in the darkness, calling his name. He never answered. She would drop to her hands and knees, feeling her way through the dark, letting his presence guide her until she came to a barrier. It was smooth and cold, metal. She couldn't see it, but she hit it hard with one fist and it echoed. "Sammy?" she would call, hitting harder. She stood, reaching up to see if she could scale the slick surface, but it stretched up far above her head. She beat her fists against the barricade until they hurt. She screamed her brother's name until her throat was raw, until she fell to the floor and leaned on the solid metal, pressing her cheek to its cool surface and hoping for a whisper from the other side. He was there. She knew it as surely as if he were a part of herself. She knew in those dreams that he was present. Worse, when she was awake, she knew he was not there. In August, Charlie and Aunt Jen had their first fight. They'd always been too distant to argue. Charlie never felt the need to rebel, because Jen provided no real authority, and Jen never took anything Charlie did personally, never tried to stop her from doing anything, as long as she was safe. The day Charlie moved in with her at the age... I just wanted to apologise for the long delay for Chapter 2. Reasons being is because I've been on holiday. I've had a lot of stuff going on like conventions and holidays and breaks, and it takes a lot of time, trust me, to read a chapter, I promise you that. Hopefully I've got a better schedule now to give you guys some chapters each week. I really do appreciate the support, and thank you. Please enjoy Chapter 2. No real authority, and Jen never took anything Charlie did personally, never tried to stop her from doing anything, as long as she was safe. The day Charlie moved in with her at the age of 7, Aunt Jen had told her plainly that she was not a replacement for Charlie's parents. By now, Charlie was old enough to understand that Jen had meant it as a gesture of respect, a way to reassure Charlie that her father wouldn't have been forgotten, that she would always be his child. But at the time it seemed like an admonishment. Don't expect parenting, don't expect love. And so Charlie hadn't. To take care for Charlie. Charlie had never wanted for food or clothing, and Jen had taught her to cook, to take care of the house, to manage her money, and to fix her own car.
Yeah?
You have to be independent, Charlie.
Your phone while you're
You
playing.
have to know
I'm listening to something, so you can shut up.
yourself.
Dang.
You have to be stronger than. She cut herself off, but Charlie knew how this
I'm gonna slap the dead thing out of you.
Charlie shook her head, trying to jerk herself.
He's for you all that, but you really not.
Huh?
What's wrong?
He's for you all that, but you really damn
Next
not.
to her.
All that, bro.
She
You
whispered.
me your tough.
She ran her
Cause you're
pencil
not.
again and again over
You
the
tough
same
for work, but you're
lines.
not tough for fit.
Over, down, over. The graphite wearing thicker and thicker. Charlie had told Jen that she was going back to Hurricane, and Jen's face turned stony, her skin paling. Why would you want to do that? She asked with a dangerous calm in her voice. Charlie's heart beat faster. Because that's where you lost him. Because I need him more than I need you. The thought of returning had been nagging at her for months, growing stronger with each passing week. One morning she awoke and the choice was made, final, sitting in her mind with a solid weight. Jessica's going to college at St. George, she told her aunt. She's starting the summer semester so I can stay with her while I'm there. I want to see the house again. There's still so much I don't understand. It just feels important. She finished weakly, faltering as Jen's eyes, dark blue like marble, fixed on her. Jen didn't answer for a long moment. Then she said simply, no. Why not? Charlie might have once said, you let me go before. But after what happened last year, when she and Jessica and the others went back to Freddy's and discovered the horrifying truth behind the murders at her father's old pizzeria, things had changed between them. Charlie had changed. Now she met Jen's gaze, determined. I'm going, she said, trying to keep her own voice steady. Then everything exploded. Charlie didn't know which of them started shouting first, but she screamed until her throat was fiery and sore, hurling at her aunt every pain she'd ever inflicted, every hurt she had failed to prevent. Jen shouted back that she only ever meant to take care for Charlie, and she'd always done her best, flinging reassuring words that somehow dripped with poison. I'm leaving! Charlie screamed with finality. She started for the door, but Jen grabbed her arm, yanking her violently back. Charlie stumbled, almost falling before she caught herself on the kitchen table, and Jen let her hand drop with a shocked expression. There was silence, and then Charlie left. She packed a bag, feeling as if she had somehow diverged from reality into an impossible parallel world. Then she got in her car and drove away. She didn't tell anyone she was going. Her friends here were not close friends. There was no one she owed an explanation. When Charlie got to Hurricane, she intended to go straight to her father's house and stay there for the next few days until Jessica arrived on campus. But as she reached the city limits, something stopped her. I can't, she thought. I can't ever go back. She turned the car around, drove straight to St. George, and slept in her car for a week. It was only after Charlie knocked and Jessica opened the door with a startled expression that Charlie realised that she never actually mentioned her plans to Jessica. Ended. She told her everything, and Jessica, hesitantly, offered to let her stay. Charlie had slept on the floor for the rest of the summer, and as the fall semester approached, Jessica didn't ask her to leave.
Not damn now.
It's nice to have someone who knows video, she had said, and uncharacteristically, Charlie hugged her.
No! Damn it! Because you keep distracting me!
She never paid much attention.
Get right back at you!
But A's and B's came easily for her. She'd never really thought about liking or disliking her subjects. Though sometimes one teacher or another would make her feel a spark of interest for a year. Charlie hadn't thought much beyond the end of summer. Through Jessica's course catalogue and saw advanced courses in robotics. Something clicked into place. St. George was among the colleges she'd been accepted into earlier that year, though she hadn't really intended to go to any of them. Now, however, she went to the administrative office and pleaded her case until she was allowed to enroll, despite having missed the deadline by months. There's still so much I don't understand. Charlie wanted to learn, and the things she wanted to learn were very specific. Of course, there were things she had to learn before her robotics course would make any sense at all. Math had always been straightforward, functional, sort of like a game to Charlie. You did the thing you were supposed to do and got the answer, but it had never been a very interesting game. It was fun to learn something new, but then you had to keep doing it for weeks or months, bored out of your skull. That was like,
Icebreaker's gun now comes in a pocket pack. I can take it anywhere.
high school. But in the first calculus class, something had happened. It was as if she'd been laying bricks for years, forced to work slowly, seeing nothing but her mortar and her trowel. Then suddenly someone pulled her back a few steps and said, "Here, look, you've been building this castle."
Jay. We don't want nothing on if you're downstairs eating. Then come up here and turn off the PlayStation. Nah. Are you out anytime soon? You wanna come with me to Walmart? Okay. Just, huh? No, just you and me.